Bonjour, hello, and welcome to Wesley Clover Parks, where today we have the two-star qualifier. 26 entered into a competition with $31,000 US on offer, but more importantly, a spot in that two-star Grand Prix. Tension is building, the excitement is building, and it's wonderful to be here in a magnificent grass arena. We caught up with one of the leading Canadian international riders, Nikki Walker. Well, I'm here with a lady that needs very little introduction, one of the top Canadian international riders, Nikki Walker. Firstly, how are you? You've had such a busy summer.
Thank you. It's been such an incredible summer. I'm so proud of the horses, and we're just really soaking in every moment. It's been really awesome. Well,
it's great to continue the success here on home soil as well, jumping in Ottawa, and a beautiful venue as well.
Yeah, we love any time we get a chance to be on the grass, and everyone here is so friendly, and to be in our nation's capital is always an awesome place to be.
Well, tell us a little bit about some of the horses you have here, particularly for the two-star qualifier. So Eve we have.
Yes, this is Eve. She'll be jumping the two-star qualifier. Super excited to have her here. She was on a little break, so she's kind of just coming back to the international level, and she's always so much fun to ride, so I can't wait to compete her soon.
She loves the camera, by the way, as well.
She loves the camera, yes.
So tell us a little bit about the preparation. You know, you said a little bit of a break, but it's a lot of planning and preparation, a lot of back team as well that has to look after so many of these beautiful horses.
There's a huge team behind every horse and every stable. It's, you know, the rider's the one that's out there on the horse, but it takes really a village to get there. And for big competitions, you know, months in advance, you're prepping how you get the horse fit and healthy and happy so that they can excel at that level. So lots of preparation goes into our time in the ring.
So tell us a little bit about the personality of Eve, in particular, some of the fun traits that she had.
Eve is the most laid-back girl when she's not in the competition ring. Really, anyone could trail ride her. She's so sweet and cuddly. And then when she's in the ring, she is so competitive. She gets extremely fired up. I'm always trying to like control the energy. So she's a real competitor that she loves that. She's got a very cute pink lip. We always say it looks like she's wearing lipstick, and she loves to always be licking and cuddling. So she's really just a dream to work with. Yeah.
And what is she like in the warm-up? Does she love that energy? And
she's actually super relaxed in the warm-up, and then it's as soon as she gets in the arena, she's like, okay, it's game time, and she loves to go fast. So we're always trying to like control that a little bit. And yeah, she's a 12-year-old mare, and they always say mares fight for you in the ring, and she definitely has those qualities.
Well, tell us a little bit about your schedule then for the week ahead. We've Eve for the two-star, but there's so many more horses here as well.
Yeah, I have Eve for the two-star. I have 2 horses in the 4-star division, and then 2 horses for the national division. One competed in the Spurs and Sparkles yesterday, which was a fun event. Yeah. And yeah, we got horses for all divisions, and it's great you can bring so many to this competition.
Well, a huge, the best of luck to you for the two-star qualifier, but of course for the week ahead here in Ottawa.
Thank you very much.
Well, a pleasure to be joined now by Mac Cohn. And Mac, you have jumped at the very top level of the sport. You're my co-commentator. We are working together this week. And set to be a great weekend. Let's have a look at this challenge here set by Gregory Bodo. And this is an interesting line, in fact.
This really is, I've walked the whole course, but this really grabbed my attention. That is the out gate. Hopefully y'all can see it. And that acts as like a suction, you know, pulling the horses back. And then he's put not far away at all, but triple up the hill. I think that's going to be quite a you know, a challenging contest for the horses and riders. Yeah, for sure.
It's a beautiful arena. And just talk about the challenge there, where a lot of the horses actually don't get the opportunity to work and jump on grass as much anymore.
They don't. I would say most of these horses, though, they've been around enough. Some of them are going to be greener than others, obviously. But if the riders caulk, meaning put the right studs in, where the horses feel, oh, I'm okay, they get a couple of jumps under their belt, and away they go, usually. It's when they're not caulked well, or if the turf is slippery or dangerous, but not here. This is magnificent, this place. It's just exciting to be here. Yeah.
It's a beautiful arena, but we also have one of the world's best course designers. Gregory Bodo is course designing here. Is that something that the athletes will take into mind and go, ooh, this is going to be really tough?
I think maybe yes, tough, but I think they go, you know, he'll be fair though. He won't pull anything stupid. It'll be a really smart, well laid out, horse friendly, but challenging course. You rather have someone of his level because you know it's going to be real clear and concise.
Any other sort of technical questions here that's really catching your eye, Mac?
Always the doubles seem to catch my eye, and that last line here, 10AB, and then on up to 11 that has the water tray in the back of the vertical. They see it a lot, but it's still a thing. And then I've just a nice distance up to the last jump, but it's a big square ox. They're getting tired for sure. They've had enough, and then they got to make one more big effort. So I think the last line will be a little tricky.
Well, we better go back up to the commentary booth because we're about to start the Soltek 2-star Grand Prix qualifier. We will talk to you very, very shortly.
Welcome to Ottawa.
Well, hello, and in just a few moments we are going to get the first of 2 international competitions underway. Well, it's 5 nations represented among the 26 that will start and competing for the lion's share of a prize fund of $31,000. But don't forget, this is a qualifier for the 2-star Grand Prix across the 2 remaining days. Well, joining me here in the commentary box, as you may have already seen, is Mac Cohn. Mac, you've competed at the very highest level of the sport, including a silver Olympic medal, but today we are going to be having a look at some of these 2-star riders in what is a magnificent grass arena. My word, this is special.
This is really, really special. I can still picture myself riding a horse, believe it or not. But to come in here on this beautiful grass field, and I also know the jumps are in impeccable shape and well painted and put together, and the whole atmosphere is just, it really picks the day up. It's just electrifying. It's just a real thrill to ride in this ring.
Well, you've had a look at the course. I mean, plenty of technical questions being asked here by Gregory Bodo, leading that course design team. And it will be a challenge, but it has to be. It's a qualifier, and it really is going to be a test for some of these horses and riders.
It certainly will, especially the earlier ones, because they're not sure exactly what they need to do to jump this course clean, much less qualify. And so there are a few question marks when you go early. And there's some inside turns you can take that maybe you don't have to, maybe you will. A lot will depend on the time allowed, which we'll find more about as we go on.
Interestingly, there's 2 triple combinations on the course. We don't really see that too often. So 7 and 10 as well. And in fact, we will revisit that. But there is an interesting triple combination coming around, as we've talked about on the preview there. So it is an interesting line, but I mean, there will be really intelligent course design in here. But the aim of the game, keep them up, get in under that time allowed, secure a spot in the jump off.
That's for the... That's not a triple.
Ah, sorry, it's a double related distance down to the 11. Thank you. It is double related distance to 11. So plenty of technical questions, though, as we were saying there, Mac.
Yeah, and once again, it'll be interesting how that triple away from the gate rides. I really do think that will, not the maid horses, but the greener ones will, that's a lot for them. They'll definitely open their eyes up there, for sure.
Well, let's see how they will get underway. We will have an arena maintenance break at the halfway point, but for now the attention is turning to this first round. Who will go clear? Who will be invited into that jump off in this, our Soltek 2-star qualifier? Well, quite the field among the 26 that will start here in this first competition of today. And we're going across the border to the Stars and Stripes of the United States of America. as we go to Orge van Heetzu, Patens Voterland. And riding this is World Equestrian Games gold medalist, won a 2-star and the 5-star Grand Prix here last year. Very talented rider to start us off, Mac.
Well, having a World Championship team gold medalist to start us off, that's the way to do it for sure.
That will certainly add the pressure for the remaining riders. Well, we're good to go. We're under starters' orders. It's good luck to all of them. Bon chance as we get underway in this, the Soltek 2-star qualifier. Well, what a perfect start for the first rider here in the Grand Prix arena. It is a clear in under that time allowed of 80 seconds for Adrian Sterlicht at the United States. Very good start, as predicted, from a very strong rider, Mac.
Yeah, that was excellent. The time allowed actually doesn't look too horribly tight. She was neat and tidy everywhere, but it wasn't necessarily really scampering. It was just very much under control. Obviously a very beautifully trained horse and ridden really, really well.
Well, our first clear, so now we're going looking for that second clear to create the jump off. And we go to the first for the home nation. And a lady from New Brunswick, in fact, a very accomplished amateur rider, now testing at this 2-star level. Riding Verdiano, it's Erica Ferguson.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just picks up the 4 falls there's Erica and Verdanio, so just the unfortunate 4, Mac.
Yeah, no, that was actually quite a good round. I'm sure she had to do it over again. She'd have gone after number 2 with a little more pace and a little more aggression, just go after that jump. It was a little nursey. She got underneath it, had it down, but then the rest, she went around quite well and way within the time allowed. It was a good round.
Time allowed seems a little bit generous there, 80 seconds, but I mean, it's still a nice...
Yeah, yeah, it could be tighter, but it is what it is, and so the riders will deal with it one way or the other.
Well, we're heading across the Atlantic Ocean, and the first of two riders representing the tricolour of Ireland, and won the 5-star opener here last year. Riding on behalf of the owner, Ariel Grange, this is Nordface VDL, and for Ireland, Daniel Coyle. Really nice pop to that one. It is 4 faults and 78.02 for Daniel Coyle. Nordface VDL, that delicate plank. It can be so dangerous.
Yeah, those planks are always a real pain to jump. This horse has a bit of a loose style up front. It just caught up with him at that one jump. Everywhere else he handled his front end beautifully, but it did catch up with him there. He's a little low with his front end, and Daniel rode that beautifully as always.
Well, the fourth to come in, and we're going back across the border to the USA. BZ Madden steps forward with Nairobi, and a 4-time Olympic athlete. A long association with jumping here in Canada, though. So with this one as fourth to go for the USA, BZ Madden. So two down there in 76.47 for BZ Madden and Nairobi. Not quite going to plan there, Mac.
No, you know, when the first jump's a vertical, no ground rails, it's just a slab of rails there, kind of in the middle of the corner, heading over that corner. That's a focus thing. That really is a focus thing. And I think the horse just wasn't focused there. And then when he moved away from the gate the other way, he rubbed another vertical. I think the horse just, you know, keeps getting better focusing. He can certainly jump. Yeah.
It's more preferable to have an oxer or a vertical as the opening fence.
I like the oxer because you can push right at it.
Well, we're going to continue with the American riders, and Hell Dorado is this gelding that's ridden by Virginia Bonney. And second in the 2-star opener here yesterday for this combination. 3 consecutive Royal Horse Show titles for this rider, and Grand Prix winner here also. So we're off to Virginia Bonney for the USA. Well, we have our jump off, and that's the second clear. 72.77 is academic. It's the clear round that counts, and Virginia Bunny has secured a spot. Foot perfect there.
Yeah, and she'll be one to watch in the jump off. She went around at 72 and change. So I think the horse is used to going with a good clip. So that might be one of the favorites in the jump off.
Slow and steady in this first round because it's the accuracy that we're most looking for from these riders. It's a real balance though, isn't it?
It really is. I just think what I was meaning is that's the way that horse goes. I think he goes quick, and it's natural for him to be quick. So that'll help for sure in the jump off.
Well, the 6-2 step forward, we're turning to the home nation now, and on course, Sean Jobin with Quatorus. So across the finish line in 78.53, but it is 3 down, so 12 faults for Sean Jobin and Quatorus. Well, Mark, you did say that double could cause a little bit of issues out there.
Yeah, it certainly did. It's what I think second horses had rails there, maybe 3, but it's definitely 2. And the front rail of number 2 is causing trouble also. I think that's the second horse to have that down. It's interesting how it's sprinkled around there. That's a good course designer that does.
It's always a good sign, isn't it?
Yeah.
We return to the USA riders, and a lady that's a Spruce Meadows Derby winner. Won the 2-star Grand Prix qualifier here last year, and won a Grand Prix in Wellington to start the season off this year. With the least at GE, it's Michaela Langmuir. Claire Hunt, another great performance for an American, and Michaela Langmuir is through to the jump off. Claire Hunt, number 3. Well, what do you think the secret is to crack that course
I'll tell you
out there?
what, good things come in small packages. Huh? That horse is small, but he's mighty. He understands this is a sport. We're not just out here to look pretty. He's out there digging and trying, and you would want him on your football team or basketball team if you could have him.
Well, let's see if we can get another, and possibly a non-American rider, because they're all American at this stage. But we're heading off across the Atlantic and to the next rider stepping forward, Charlotte Bettendorf, and a combination that was a winner of the two-star opener here yesterday. And how important is that when you win the first competition of the day? Do you think that sets you up nicely?
You know, it's good for 24 hours, and then you got to go do it again. But there's nothing wrong with starting off the week with, you knowing your horse is jumping well and doing well. Yeah, for sure.
Well, it was looking so good right up until that last line, and unfortunately, 4 faults there for Charlotte Bettendorf, and Million Pleasure. Well, that's just the sport, isn't it? It changes day to day.
It is. But that last line is a lot, and I understand from my information here, that's only an 8-year-old. Is that correct? That's what I get. And I think
Sure is, yeah.
Yeah, was digging in and trying really hard, and for it to green up a little bit with that double away from the gate like that, that's not unusual. It's not, a horrible thing at all. I think it's a really nice horse.
We'll move on now to the world number 28 in the Longines World Rankings, and the combination that was top 3 in yesterday's two-star opener, nodding Tullara Cascara. This is for the United States of America, Aaron Vale. Oh, a slight little rub of that back rail. It remains in the cups. It's clear for Aaron Vale, Tullara Cascara. Another one through.
Another one through, and he did it really easily. And this horse gives me the impression that two-star jumping is not going to be his final level. He's going to keep marching up the ladder. I think meter 45 looked quite easy for this one, and I'm sure Aaron would agree.
Well, a lot of these top riders that are jumping, especially at this two-star level, will be using this to produce some of the horses as well, Mac. And that's really important to have the two-star, four-star combination at some of these events.
Oh, it's so good because you can bring your young horses along with you as you're trying to jump the higher level, and not have a second rider developing your horses. You can develop them yourself, and that really is a big advantage.
Well, from the world number 28 to the world number 27 in the Longines World Rankings, and certainly no stranger from winning here? Well, we go to Kazali VDL and another one for the Emerald Isle. It's Conor Swale for Ireland. Well, a lovely round by Conor Swale. He was a winner here yesterday in the 4-star opener. He's now in with a chance to win this 2-star qualifier. Kazali VDL. Lovely round.
Oh my goodness, what a beautiful jumper that horse is. I don't know if you noticed, but the arc was perfectly centered, the knees up around the ears, the neck way out in front. Of course, Conor knows how a horse should jump properly, and that was a great example of it. Beautiful.
Well, one that's added to the list there, so we're now up to a total of 5 through to the jump off. We're now going to the 11th two-step forward here. Major results in Beaumont and Spruce Meadows, and a 5-star Big Ben winner in Toronto. Nicholas Delio Giorgio and riding an Irish sport horse, Vanilla, for the United States of America. Well, another 4 faults picked up there towards the latter stages of the course. It is going to be a total of 8 and 78.60 with Vanilla Nicholas Delio Giorgio. Well, 2 down there, Mac. It's certainly some technical questions being asked.
Yeah, there's enough out there. Any horse that's not really seasoned, I think it does catch up a little bit to them. There's enough little things, they add up and then they become a big thing, and then you get 1 or 2 rails. Yeah.
Well, we just have the 2 left until we have an arena maintenance break at the halfway point of this, the Soltek 2-star qualifier. Thank you to Soltek for their continued support here of the Ottawa International. Well, we go to Olivia Venzio, and this is Bailey's Van de Broy Z, and top 9 performers in the 145 2-star Grand Prix at Spruce over the summer for the United States of America. Well, two refuses there. Unfortunately, it is elimination for Olivia and Bailey's Van de Broy Z. Not quite liking going into that plank.
No, it just, as the course went on, it looked like the course kind of won, you know, instead of the horse and rider. The course won that round. But, you know, you just fight on and keep going. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got scared. Just come in again and do it again. Yeah.
Lots of lessons to be learned.
Yes, you bet. You bet.
Well, last to go before we reach the halfway point and we have that arena maintenance break. With extensive Spruce Meadows experience, we go to the man that is a two-star Grand Prix winner in Culloden, and with Numerod ES, it's the 13th to go for the Maple Leaf, Canada. Well, crossing the finish line there, Dylan Monroe and 72.75, 2 down, and Nimrod ES. A couple now towards that latter stages, just maybe a lack of concentration. Or it's a technical end towards that finish.
It really is. I think I said earlier, they're beginning to get tired there too. You turn them away from the end gate the second time, and then have all that double and the water tray and the last ox are waiting. It's a lot to ask them to do. Come on, keep going. And that horse really, especially the water tray, lost his technique for sure.
And that in-out gate, that is part of the course building as well. He knows that the horses can get distracted. Similar to the water jump, the head starts to go down. Some of the horses, don't like that. But all these questions combined is really intelligent course design, of course.
It really is, and it's not his job to be the rider's best friend. He's out there trying to separate everybody, but do it in a gentle way, a clever way, not a brutal way. We're dealing with the horse as the animal. We love the animal, the horse, and we like using them in competition, but we want to use it and have nobody get scared or hurt in any way. And he's been very clever here today so far, separating these horses with nothing major happening at all.
Well, at the moment we're just having a little bit of an arena maintenance, but my word, this ground is holding up so well, and it's just absolutely perfect to jump on.
It really is. You and I are sitting right here by jump number 4, and then they're choosing to go inside this last jump for the time to get back to number 5. And I believe that is in the jump off also. And you can see the grounds crew there going after it. I was hoping they would come out after it, and they have, because the turf is just skimming up just a little bit, and it's going to get that turn's going to get a lot of use today. Yeah.
Well, the excitement is building. If we have just a look here at this halfway point, well, we have Adrian, Virginia, Michaela, Aaron, and Connor, the only non-American there in the lineup for the jump-off so far. Real nice mix, and certainly looks like a very exciting jump-off that will come up.
Well, yeah, like you said, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 already, and then another half of the class to go. If it kind of just holds form, we end up with 10, which is a little bit too much for my liking, but it's perfect for a qualifier class. Just what you want, yeah.
Well, thanks again to Soltek for the sponsorship of this two-star qualifier. And we will let the team continue with their arena maintenance, and we will be back with you in just a minute or so. We will continue with the second half of this first round of our two-star qualifier.
And then we're set for the jump off, which will also be an 8-minute break. All right, 40 seconds till first horse. Gavin, you're on deck. Catherine in 1, Alex in 2, Hyde in 3, Vanessa in 4, Christine in 5, Charlotte in 6, Sean 7, Nicole in 8, Connor 9, Blythe in 10. We have had one scratch, so Sam, you are now in 11. That's 12 trips, and then we have an 8-minute break for our jump off change. And we will be dragging the warm up before the jump off.
Well, welcome back, and we're going to continue with the second half now of this Soltek two-star qualifier for the Grand Prix. And at this point, if you have just joined us, we have a total of 5, 4 for the USA and 1 for Ireland. And joining me in the commentary box is Mac Cohn. Mac, we have witnessed some wonderful jumping so far. We're on course for about 8 to 10 if the statistics still continue here. Plenty of talented riders among the 25 starts here, and really nice start to the day.
Yeah, we've got 5 queens so far out of round 13, and so that's getting, what's my math here, 1 and 3, or about that. That's pretty kind of odds, which is great. That's good for a qualifier, but the conditions of the field and the conditions of the weather, and it's just a great day here in Ottawa. And what a wonderful day for show jumping.
Well, we'll really start now with a man that was part of the Canadian Nations Cup team that placed second this summer in Thunderboard, riding Lord EP for Canada, is Gavin Moylan. across the finish line there. Just picks up the 4 faults for the 1 on the floor. Gavin Moyland and Lordy P. Well, we need the accuracy, we need to keep them all up.
You know, the more I watch this plank being jumped, we're right behind it, and you can see the horses' bums go a little left, little right before it, and when they land, they go a little left. It's placed where they're not sure if they're supposed to go left or they're supposed to go right. And it jumps hard enough anyway, but with the placement, I think it makes it even harder.
Well, we remain with the Home Nation riders, and Catherine Drapeau goes with Freestyle du Shamrock from Quebec, and very familiar with Freestyle du Shamrock, a partnership that has come through the levels and knows Wesley Clover Parks extremely well.
With currently 5 to 8 in it.
Well, it is 4 faults in 76-73 for Catherine Drapeau and Freestyle du Shamrock. Little rub of 10A and then going down that related distance, unfortunately, a knockdown there.
Yeah, it's a very forward-going horse, and she first one to actually go around this end jump after jump 4 here. And I thought she might have trouble with the time. She didn't at all. It shows you how forward the horse actually is going. It just caught, that's a quiet forward to the water trade jump, and just didn't back off, leave it up.
Well, we stick with the Canadian riders, and from Ontario we go to Alex Mitchell, and riding this Irish sport horse that she owns is Calasco Ora as the 16th to go. At this point we have the five clears proceeding through to the jump off of this, the Soltek 2-star qualifier. Well, ends up with a total of 16 for Alex Mitchell and Calasco Ora, so 4 down. A real mix of faults there.
Yeah, a couple of front rails of the Otters for sure, and then the front legs at the Liverpool. You know, the horse just needs to get a little more clever with that front end and help that rider out a little bit more.
Well, we continue with Hyde Moffat next, and Cornabagus WF, a highly experienced Canadian athlete, multiple major wins here at Wesley Clover Parks, and probably one of the most one of the riders that's most familiar with this venue. So we're continuing on with the 17th to go. How important is that to be familiar with jumping in this arena? How helpful is that?
Well, anytime you're comfortable, that's a good thing in any sport. You know, everybody hears about home field advantage.
Yeah.
Well, that could be Hyde's, situation here today. He's been in here a lot, and like you say, he's comfortable. It's going to help. It's not going to hurt. No.
Well, that's the first for the home nation, and through to that jump off. Perfect by Hyde, Moffat and Coricus WF. And you can really see just having used a little bit of extra energy there to get over that plank.
You bet, yeah. Hyde does a masterful job. He's a very, very good rider. And he's been working hard on this horse. He's been around my area in Toronto working on this horse, so I've seen the job that he's been doing, and there's a good proof of his work.
Well, that is one for Canada as we go now to Israel, and a combination that was top 6 in the two-star opener here yesterday, riding FBW Fabric, as the 18th to go is Vanessa Hood.
So top 6 ride in for presentation today, please.
Strong performance yesterday and a strong performance here this afternoon again by Vanessa Hood. FBW graphic is clear and 1 through to the jump off. Nice round.
Yeah, that's just a lovely partnership, huh?
Really
The two
nice.
of them really get along well, and the horse is so generous. He understands it's a sport also. You're supposed to miss the jumps, not knock them down.
Yeah.
He understands it. Yeah, they get along great. Really fun to watch.
Well, we're down to the final few as we come to the latter stages now of the Soltek two-star qualifier, and we return back to the Canadian riders with Christine Carlson, riding Quille Van de Hele for Canada. So ends up with 20 faults there for Christine Carlson and Quilla van de Helle. Well, maybe just a word, Mac, on how you really control the energy and the momentum of some of these horses when you step into this arena.
Well, they're all different, and some of them will gear up a lot and take you a lot. No matter how much work you do outside the ring, they hear that whistle blow, and all of a sudden you got a monster on your hands.
Yep.
But most horses, the more work you do at home, in the paddock here, in the schooling ring, all that, good classical work, it should carry over into the ring.
Well, that ties us in nicely to the next athlete, because she's already jumped here earlier in this first round. Every horse is different, so even having that advantage of having two in this, it really changes from rider to rider.
It really does. Like when you walk a course and you have more than...
Hey, Charlotte Bettendorf is ready to start with Calopi for Luxembourg. Really nice ride by Charlotte Bettendorf and Calopi. It's clear and through to the jump off. And as we were saying, Mac, maybe it is an advantage to have a little preview of the course and jump one earlier.
Well, it really is, and usually you say, okay, I'm going to walk this course, and I'm going to think it just of my first horse, because you can't ride them both at the same time. You have to ride one at a time. So concentrate on your first horse, and then you'll have so much more information after you've gone around once. Then you start thinking about how does this course work for your second one. And what a wonderful little horse. Oh, my God, that was Charlotte's horse. Really jumped that around that course just like it was nothing. Lovely little horse.
Well, she was the winner of the two-star opener yesterday. Let's see if she can do it today. But back in with his second ride and ready to go with Jamie d'Omaray, Sean Jobin. Perfect performance by Sean Jobin and Inge d'Omaray, and one through for Canada, another one through, in fact, to that jump off. What a lovely round.
Yeah, that was really good. Sean and this horse seem to have come together. The horse wants to argue a little bit, but then he says, okay, I'll listen to you, Sean. And then at the very end, he leaves him alone and he gets a really good jump out of the horse. Yeah, that's really a good, he's getting a good combination going here.
Well, that's interesting you say that, because Nikki Walker is next. She presents Yves de Olay, and my word, this horse is a lovely personality. Very calm in the stable, but then knows its job when it comes in here. And that's the real dynamic for a lot of these horses. So we're going to the 22nd and for Canada, Nikki Walker. Late four falter there, so that's now up to a total of 8 faults for Nikki Walker and Yves de Olay. Well, is there an advantage really of going last or towards the end of the competition, listening to some of the feedback in the warm-up or collecting ring, Mac, and maybe you adjusting your plan? Or
Yeah, sometimes it can help, and sometimes it can just really confuse the heck out of you. Most of the times I was saying, your horse is your horse. You've trained it. You've ridden it. Stick by what you walked when you walked your course, and that's usually your best bet. A little feedback to somebody who you know well, and they know your horse well, and something that's different. You know, somebody a little on the inside of the group, that's okay. But stick to your own plan with your own horse.
well, we go now to a rider that already has cracked the code of this course. One clear for Conor Swail already. He presents this one. It's Nadal, Hero, and DB. Back in with us for Ireland, Conor Swail. Well, he's done it. It's another one clear for Conor Swail. Nadal, Hero, and DB. So second one through for Conor. Lovely round again. Master.
Oh my goodness, he's just giving. I don't mean to, but I've got to be careful. He's giving everyone a real riding lesson about how horses should jump off the ground and in the air, and just enough room where you're not cramming them up to the jump too much. And if you get a little deep, he knows just what to do without destroying the nice arc of the horse. He is really a master at how a horse should jump.
Well, that brings us up to a total of 10 clears. We're down to the final two. Let's see if our prediction will be right in around the 10 or so mark as we go to the penultimate. And Blythe Morano rides this Zangaside gelding. It's Theo Took TNL Z. Blythe Morano, USA. Super clear there, and a quick pace as well. Blythe Morano and Theo took T and L Z. Clear. Lovely round. Really nice.
Yeah, very, very good. Blythe's a super rider. She's been around for quite a while, and it's a good example of what a wonderful sport where men and women can compete equally. She's a small little girl. She's really, when you walk up to her, she's not a big person. She handles that big horse with no problem at all. Yeah, very good rider.
Well, we're down to the final rider in this first round. What did you prefer, first or last within jumping the jump off class?
Well, if you're clean, then you get to go last in the jump off. So that's kind of nice also. When I rode Nations Cups for Canada and the U.S. usually I went first, and I kind of like that. I like, just doing my thing and going first. But in these classes, you like being last. Yeah, for sure.
Sam Pegg and Casey Hitch for Canada. Well, finishes with the two down there, so that is 8 falls for Sam Pegg and Casey H. We were so close to getting another one through there.
Yeah, it was going just great. But that last line away from the gate, it just kind of wore on the horse's brain a little bit, and it just made him give up a little bit. He had 8 faults just right there. There are only 4 jumps there, but he knocked 2 of the 4 down. It wears on their brain, that last line.
Well, that does conclude the first round of the Soltek 2-star qualifier, but we still have plenty of action still to come in the jump off. At 11 clears, 11 proceeding through to the jump off over a shortened course, of which we will have a look at in just a moment's time. We have some wonderful names included in that lineup of the jump off, and some amazing and really intelligent course design done by Gregory Bodo. And of course, with so much experience behind him and a wonderful team here in the course design team. But we have a total of 11 proceeding through, and $31,000 US is what's on stake. For the winner, they will walk away with $10,000 US. We started off with 5 nations, and we're down to the final few. 25 started. And in just a moment, we will have a look at that jump-off course. It is going to be a shortened course if you are familiar with the jump-off format. It's over 14, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 AB and 15. Some new additional fences included in there, and that's part of the international rules. It's a really interesting track, and I think we can hear from Karen and Mac in just a moment. But our thanks once again to Soltek. Soltek Equestrian Footing Division specialises in precision engineered arena surfaces designed with the performance and safety of horse and rider in mind. From private training arenas to international competition venues, Soltek creates footing solutions that deliver the traction, the cushioning, stability and consistency demanded by equestrian sport. Combining specialized materials with technical expertise, Soltek builds high performance surfaces designed to help equine athletes perform at their best. Well, thanks to the president of Soltek. Francis is here, and lovely to hear from him before the start of the competition. And we really are in for a treat with the names included in the jump off here. And in the middle of the arena, well, let's have a quick word with Mac, and also it's down to you, Karen. Adrian Sterlich starts us off. Oh, what a wonderful start, 42-35. Not an easy task going first, but it's clear. And Adrian Sterlich is a very good start for her, in fact.
Yeah, very good. She did what she had to do. She wasn't just crazy fast, but she did all the correct numbers in the early go there and quite tight turnbacks and the right number to the last jump and left the jumps up. So we'll see where that puts her.
Well, that'll put a little bit of pressure on the remaining as we need to land coming out of fence number 5 in around 26 seconds. You can keep an eye on the clock on the big screen as we continue our jumping. Time allowed here is 51 seconds. We're going to the next for the USA. It's Virginia Bonney and El Dorado. Lovely round as well. That's 41.54, and with that performance goes into the lead ever so slightly quicker for Virginia Bonney and El Dorado.
Yeah, that was a very nice round. The horse is just a little bit quicker horse, huh? He just a little feistier and goes out there and runs a little faster and moves his legs a little quicker and just made the difference.
Well, it's interesting, you know, it's a real calculated decision how tight to take those turns, particularly in that rollback from 14 to 2 and 4 to 5.
Yeah, you bet. And I think maybe from the first 2 jumps is where it's going to be the difference. Like you say, somebody can make it really quick and tight and smooth the first 2 jumps and then just stay on the pace the rest of the way. That might do it.
Well, we go now to Michaela Langmuir and Lalista GE with that time to beat 41.54 for the United States of America. Well, another clear, and it keeps getting quicker and quicker, 40.16 as Michaela Langmuir goes into the lead with Lalista GE. Now, interesting, Mac, as she landed coming out of fence 5 there, a little bit up on that time, 24 seconds, and that's translated.
Yeah, it was amazing because she actually added strides the first, the first line here. She added in 2 places, but the horse moves his legs so quick it really doesn't matter. Like she can do 6 when just as quick as another horse does 5. You know, it's amazing how quick that horse is.
Well, we go now with that new time to beat of 40.16. It is starting to rain a little for our viewers online, but we remain with the US riders, and riding Tulare Cascara is Aaron Vale for the USA. Lovely round, an 80.49. It's ever so slightly, about 3/4 of a second too slow to take that lead. But a great round by Aaron Vale. Slight rub of that last fence as well. Perfect.
Yeah, we saw with what Aaron did is what you were talking about from 1 to 2 there. He really went after it hard. And I think adding up to this vertical down here in the corner by us maybe is what caught him. I think he'd been better off coming on in the seven strides rather than the 8, and might have given him just what he needed.
Well, good odds for the next rider. He is the only one with 2 in this jump off. As we go now to Kazali VDL. He was a winner here yesterday in the 4-star opener. Let's see if he can beat that time set by Michaela Langmuir of 40.16. The first of 2 for Conor Swale, Ireland. Clear out for Conor Swale and Kazali VDL. 44.54 is the slowest of the clear rounds so far. But as we've said earlier, Mac, Conor is hugely experienced. The question, he knows there's a big weekend ahead.
He does. I think he's probably waiting for the bigger fish to fry, as they say. But that was his strategy. He chose to go about at that speed, and once again, the horse jumped around beautifully, and he's in great shape.
Well, we still have plenty to go here in this jump off. Reminder of that time allowed, it is academic, 51 seconds. They are all vying to beat the time of 40.16. That's what's the most important, but at this stage, they will very much need to leave them all up as we go to the next. And the first for the home nation, representing the Maple Leaf, is cornerback WF and Hyde Moffat, Canada. Well, that's a clear in 45. That's a clear in 45.93 for Hyde Moffat and cornerback WF. So with that performance, that's good enough to rank into 6th provisionally. Another one opting for that slower pace.
Yeah, it's very similar strategy that Conor had. I think Hyde will be thrilled with the double clean here today, and the horse is set up beautifully for the rest of the week.
Well, the top 3 as it stands are all for the USA. Michaela Langmuir leads it. Aaron Vale is in 2nd. Virginia Bonney is in 3rd. But we're heading off to Israel next. Vanessa Hood represents them with FBW graphic. A reminder, this is the combination that placed top 6 in that 2-star opener here yesterday. Let's see if she means business in this jump off, in this, the Soltek 2-star qualifier. what a shame. The last fence, well, it goes in the time of 44.89 for Vanessa Hood and FBW Graphic.
Yes, sometimes the horse just stops pulling the bridle, and you want the horse to take the bridle to a certain degree where he's always out in front of you, and it looked like he just stopped pulling for some reason, and then, you know, she had to chase, and it just all went the wrong direction, didn't it?
Well, could it be that it's a new additional fence? It hasn't seen this fence, not yesterday. This is the first time it's jumped it.
Could be. There's a car on one side. There's the spooky flowers at the bottom. There's enough going on there for sure.
Well, we're down to the final four. We're off now to Luxembourg. Charlotte Bettendorf with that time to beat 40.16. As she goes with Calopi. Oh, it's close. It's 41.24, and that's a clear for Charlotte Bettendorf. Calliope, well, that's a top 3 performance at this late stage. Nice round there again by Charlotte.
Yeah, what a nice partnership. You know, they seem to understand each other really, really well, and the horse is always out in front of her nicely, and her hands are really smooth, and she just keeps sending the horse that's, you know, out in front of her and pulling her just enough. It was really a good ride.
Well, we go now to the last of the Canadian riders. He rejoins us with Igaye de Omari. And a reminder, this is the combination that was 5th in the 2-star opener yesterday. Riding this is Sean Jobin. Well, just doesn't go quite to plan there. Really, unfortunately, for Sean Jobin, and that's a total of 8 faults in 42.66. Not to be, Mac.
No, and the horse, I was commenting the first round how the two of them seemed to, you know, meet each other halfway in the middle, and this jump off, it looked like the horse went back to arguing with him a little bit, and it cost him a couple of rails.
Well, we know that we need to land, or coming out of fence number 5, in around 24 seconds. Now, even if they're a wee bit slower at that point, it's a really nice gallop, as always really in these jump-off tracks. Final gallop that can be really crucial to taking that top spot.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out really where anybody's going to go any tighter other than the first 2 jumps. It looks like you can trim in there and possibly to the last double down there. They're a little bit wide there. Somebody take a little bit of a chance jumping in a little on an angle where you don't even see B. You just jump A and then in the middle just jerk them back in. You could catch you know, a good second there. But it's high risk. It's just how bad you want it here.
Well, it is the 2-star qualifier, and my word, we will be in for a treat here on Sunday for the 2-star Grand Prix. Hope you can join us tomorrow for the 4-star Grand Prix. But for now, the attention is very much on the final 2. It's a little bit of a delay as Conor Swale has to warm up his second horse in this jump off. Now, he will have that distinct advantage, the only advantage of any of the riders, of getting 2 through to the jump off. How important will that be?
Well,
or I guess advantageous.
well, it's nice to go. They've pretty much gone around the track in the first round, and most of the jumps other than number 1 going the other way. But yeah, he got a feel for the length of the stride he's going to need, and this is a totally different type than the gray, but still off the ground and in the air jumps very beautiful, like the gray. But I think it might be a little bit more advanced and a little bit quicker. I think this is probably his quicker horse.
Well, let's see. As he has joined us, we're good to go, and back in with us this time, riding Nadal Hero and DB. We're looking to come out of fence number 5 in around 24 seconds, but more importantly, we need to beat the time of 40.16. Riding this for Ireland, Conor Swale. Clear on and 39.84. We have a new leader. Conor Swale at this late stage takes that top spot. Nadal Hero and DB. Could we have Aron Naveen, the Irish national anthem, played for a second time this week? Well, it looks very good for Conor. Absolute masterclass.
Yeah, I know that was really, really good. It didn't look that fast, but he made it fast, and he took that turn down to that final in and out like I was talking about it, where it's really quite an angle in where you don't even see B if you angle in A that much. And that's what he did. I think he just angled in and just stayed with him in the middle and pulled him back, and it saved 2 or 3 strides the way he did that.
Well, it all comes down to Blythe Morano. Will she be able to take that top spot? 39.84, that's the time to beat. The USA have led it for such a period of time. In fact, nearly from the beginning. Let's see if she can take that top spot. We're good to go with Tio Tuk TNLZ, Blythe Morano. Really nice round, 44.56. Won't be good enough to take that top spot, but a really clean and nice round by Blythe Morano. Tio took TNLZ. We'll be pleased with that still.
She'll be real pleased with it, I think, yeah. I mean, she added a stride to the last jump, but the horse is just so in a little wide to number 5. I think that's those 2 places is where she lost most of her time. But I think she'd be totally pleased with the double clean on the day, for sure.
Well, that concludes our jump off in this, the Soltek 2-star qualifier. And we can announce the top 3. It is 3rd to Aaron Vale, 2nd to Michaela Langmuir, and a win once again this week for Ireland's Conor Swale. And my words, that was just absolute perfection by Conor with that one, especially towards the end, Mac.
Yeah, it was really, really fun to watch. It was his performance on all 4 rounds of his 2 horses put together were just really fun to watch somebody do it so well. And at the end, it also makes him very, very fast. And that's the whole idea of doing it well.
Well, thanks for joining us for this 2-star qualifier. But coming up in just a moment, we have our prize giving ceremony. We do hope you can stick around for that. And that's coming up in a couple of minutes' time.
You bet, yeah.
Well, leading the top 6 into the arena, escorted by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, is our winner, Conor Swale, Nadal Hero, and D and B. Well, let's hear a word from our winner. Down to you, Tracy.
Thank you so much, Killian. I am pleased to have Conor Swale here at the center of this beautiful grass field. Conor, you've been a regular the last 6 seasons here with us. We love having you. Tell us about the partnership with this horse and your win today.
Yes, this is Nadal Hero. His barn name is Ned. He's been with me for the last 3 or 4 years. He's a very competitive horse and has jumped actually at quite a high level. And my wife rode him for a little bit there for a year, and I've decided to take him back. And thankfully, he's in really good form, I must say.
Well, congratulations, félicitations, and thank you for coming back to Ottawa year after year. We love having you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It is. I love coming here. Karen always does a great job, I feel, and I'm actually, I have a home in Toronto, so it's actually not that far from me, so I love coming to these shows and supporting all the local businesses, and yeah, I'm really enjoying myself.
Well, thanks again, Conor. You also support our Spurs and Sparkles, so good luck the rest of the week.
Lovely to hear from Conor, and Conor was competing in the Dublin Horse Show last week, and I'm still a little bit jet lagged, so I'm not sure about you, Conor, but a wonderful performance here this afternoon in that 2-star qualifier, and a pleasure to welcome forward now to conduct our prize giving ceremony on behalf of Soltek. It is Francis Leblanc, President of Soltek, as we now present to the winner. It is Conor Swale. Well, simply an incredible performance, 39.84. A huge credit to Conor, and we will not forget that the 4-star qualifier will be coming up here this afternoon. We hope that you can join us for that. It's at 4 o'clock, and it will be interesting to see if, well, one of those riders that was in the top 6 of the 4-star here yesterday will be able to take the win. And in fact, Conor was the winner of that 4-star opener yesterday. Great to have the Royal Canadian Mounted Police here and part of all the prize giving ceremonies across the 4 days here of the Ottawa International. Thanks to the team at Soltek Equestrian Footing Division, specialising in precision engineered arena services designed with the performance and safety of horse and rider in mind. I would now ask you if you are able to please stand and be uprising for the winning national anthem, Ireland. Moihu, well done to Conor as our winner, and the national anthem of Ireland played once again here in Ottawa. Well, we now go to second, and is to the USA's Michaela Langmuir and Lalista GE. Well, she led it for so long and was just beaten there towards the end of the competition. Well, a great performance, and certainly one to watch over the coming days. Well done to Michaela. Well, the USA have dominated really in the first of the competitions here today, as we now go to third, and also for the USA, Aaron Vale with Tolara Cascara. To fourth, and stepping forward, representing Luxembourg, is Charlotte Bettendorf. Well, getting congratulated there by Karen and also Francis Leblanc, the president of Soltek. Merci beaucoup to Soltek for their continued support here and their real dedication to the international show, as we now go to fifth, and Virginia Bonney for the USA. Well, in just a couple of minutes, the course design team will swing into action and get prepared for that 4 o'clock start for the next of the qualifiers at the 4-star level. Really interesting partnerships included in that, but we are going to continue on to sixth, and Adrian Sterlicht for the USA. Well, that is the top 6, and we just make the final moments of the prize giving ceremony. Well done to the top 6. But of course, there is only one winner as he leads us off in our lap of honour. A win for Ireland and Conor Swale. Well, your winner, Conor Swale. Second, Michaela Langmuir. Third, Aaron Vale. Fourth, Charlotte Bettendorf. Fifth, Virginia Bonney. And sixth, Adrian Sterlicht. Well, huge congratulations once again to Conor Swale. We will be back with you at 4 o'clock, or just a little before, in fact, for a little preview. But from myself, Mac, and all the team, we'll talk to you shortly.